Right, guys, we have finished up with the second unit. Now we will move on with the unit 3 in the kitchen. Okay, unit 3 in the kitchen. Okay, guys, in this unit we have got lots of vocabulary, so we cannot give all the vocabulary here. Please check your vocabulary list again. But we can see 4 different types of vocabulary here in this unit. For example, the vocabulary is related to the food, and vocabulary is related to the kitchen tools, and the methods in the kitchen, and the cooking process. So, if you want to participate in the kitchen activities, you should know some vocabulary, you should know the materials or the ingredients. So what are they? Look at the shopping list. We have got vegetables. What are vegetables? Vegetables are this, the peppers, the carrots, or the cabbages, okay, all kind of green things, or the vegetables. What about fruits? Fruits are the bananas, apples, all kind of fruits, you know this. And dairy products, actually dairy products mean milk products. For example, cheese, yogurt, or just milk. And we have 3 different types of meat here, meat, chicken, and fish. As you know, while we are talking about meat, we are talking about steak or beef. Chicken is chicken, and fish is fish. So, what about dry legumes? What are they? Dry legumes are the dried foods that we keep in stores in our kitchens. Okay? So, after seeing these words, let's move on some question types here. And don't forget to check your vocabulary list again, okay? I'm going to remind you again and again. So, what's your favorite food? Tell me, what's your favorite food? For example, pizza is my favorite food. And what about the ingredients? Ingredient means what kind of food do you use when you cook a dinner? Okay, for example, if I talk about a pizza again, what are the ingredients of a pizza? You can just count on the flour, salt, water, or tomato sauce, something like that you like to eat in a pizza. Or how many eggs do you need for cake? So we are also asking for the amount of the ingredients that we are going to use while we are cooking. Or do we slice or chop the onions? We are going to see the cutting styles here. And what about some cupcake or the other cakes or the other desserts? And can you pass the salt? Yeah, this is a very, very important request, I think. For example, you are sitting on a table and the salt is just far away from you. What can you say? You just request one of the family members, can you pass the salt, please? Okay, use this structure at home, guys. Try. Do you like sour, like lemon? Sweet, like chocolate? Salty, like salt? And spicy, that means very hot, contains a lot of spices. And bitter, like bitter chocolate, or greasy things, like, for example, potato chips. So, let's move on with the kitchen tools. Actually, there are a lot of kitchen tools. So just look at some of them. Cooker. Cooker is actually the general name of the oven, the stove combination, even the pots. Oven. Oven is the oven actually. For example, if you want to bake cookies, you should use the oven. Fridge. Everybody has a fridge in the kitchen. Go and check whether they are there. So teaspoon, tablespoon, or glass, these are the measurement cups actually. You need to know all of these to make a recipe. Or pan. Pan is actually also a general name. It can differ from a frying pan to saucepan to cake pan or the loaf pan. A knife, yeah, it's a sharp kitchen material. So be careful about the knife because we use a knife to cut the food. So cup, rolling pin, let's go on with the rolling pin. Okay, it's a kind of long stick that you want to roll on the dough. So if you want to make a pizza again, you need a rolling pin. Frying pan, I said before, microwave, it's a kind of oven again. It cooks in a very short time. Saucepan, it's a pan that you are using while you are making a sauce. And bowl is a very deep container. For example, you want to mix or beat the eggs inside of it. Baking tray is a kind of sheet that you put into the oven. Measuring cups, as I said before. Apron. Apron is the kind of clothing that you wear over your body, and it keeps your clothes clean while you are cooking in the kitchen. Spice container is a kind of little bottles that you put some spices like pepper, salt, or cinnamon. And grill. Grill is a kind of barbecue, but this time you are just having a barbecue inside of a home. So you can have a grill pan, for example. Or a kitchen scale is a kind of measurement scale that you measure the sugar or the salt in terms of their grams. And the kettle, I think this is the best electronic appliances in the kitchen, so you can just heat the water in a very short time by using an electric kettle. Okay guys, do you know all this vocabulary? So can you add more? Of course, you can add more. So we have got some methods in the kitchen that we are using. For example, cutting is cutting. You should know this word. Or chop. Chop is cutting something into very small pieces by using a knife. Or dice. Dice are small cubes. For example, you can use a dice while you are playing a backgammon. But here in this unit, we are using dice to cut something into cube shape. Or slicing, you can slice a bread or a pizza or a cake. And mash, yeah, we use this verb, especially while we are cooking potatoes and mashing them, crunching in other words, okay, making a puree. Grate, so in order to grate something, you need a grater. For example, you can grate a carrot. Whisk, it's a kitchen tool actually. For example, if you want to just mix up a cake batter, you should use a whisk. Beat, you are not using your punches, okay? Here in this unit, we are using beat to beat the eggs, for example, whisking or mixing. Stir, it's also a kind of mixing verb. So stirring is just doing these movements. You are just stirring or mixing something in a round direction. Or blending, so we all use blenders in the kitchen to make some food combined. And rinse, so washing something with a lot of water. Roll, remember we had a rolling pin, so what are we using this? To roll the dough. And kneading, yes, we have got some punches, so we are using our punch to knead the dough, for example, okay? If you want to make a bread, you should knead the dough. And spread, think that you have a slice of bread and a piece of butter. So you are spreading the butter over the bread. That means that. And a ground, making something powder. For example, you have a coffee bean. It's a bowl shape. If you ground the coffee bean, that means that you are making it in a powder state, okay? So you can just go on and have your coffee. So, which ones are used more in Turkish cuisine? Maybe kneading, huh? We love dough. So, we need more with the cooking process here. So, as you can see, there's an order of the actions. The first, second, next, then, after that, and finally. So, these structures are important because while we are making a recipe, while we are cooking something, we need to order the processes that we are doing. So, two things never change. For example, the first and the final never change, but the others can change. Be careful about this. So, there's another word here, add, putting something. Melt, what melts? For example, butter, a piece of butter melts in a very hot pan, or an ice cream in a very hot weather. Or put, as I said before, adding. Sprinkle, for example, take some sugar inside of your hand, so you can just scatter it around your food. For example, you can sprinkle some cheese on a pizza, okay? Or you can just sprinkle some cinnamon over your milk. Pour, pour is transferring something from one cup to the other. For example, you can pour some tea. Or bake, it's a cooking process in the oven. And roast, actually there are two types of frying methods. If you just use to fry, that means you are frying something or cooking something in a hot oil. But if you roast something, that means you are frying it in the oven. Be careful, we don't need much oil here while we are roasting something. So grill, as I said before, barbecue. Mostly the barbecue is outdoor and grill can be an indoor activity, cooking activity at home. And steam, so we are using steaming, it's a kind of vapor actually. You boil the water and the water just comes out with a vapor and you are just cooking your vegetables, for example, using the steam of the water. It's one of the most healthiest one, okay? And boil or fry again, we talked about it. And we have got some structures here until it gets brown. So if you, for example, cook an omelette, so you should flip over it when it's getting brown. So heat, you need a heat to cook something, of course. It's the hotness of your stove. And serve hot. You should serve some food hot. For example, soup. You should serve a soup hot. Okay. So we have got some structures that we use after serving food. For example, enjoy your meal. It is in English. So we can see the other languages. For example, bon appétit. This is French and it means enjoy your meal. Or we have got the Italian one, buon appetito. Okay, it also means enjoy your meal. And in Turkish, we call it afiyet olsun. So let's look at some examples here. So there is a question and the answer is coming like this: cheese, tomato sauce, sausage and mushrooms. So what are they? They are actually the ingredients. Okay, so we see some of the ingredients in the dialogue. It is not the process. So the question must come up like this: what are the ingredients of a pizza? Because these are the ingredients. So also we have another example here, and there's a recipe. Actually, it is the process of the recipe. We have got some pictures. So which picture shows the step after mixing the ingredients, after mixing all the ingredients, okay? So let's look at the recipe. First, heat the oven at 200 degrees Celsius. No. So mix 2 eggs with a cup of sugar. This is just mixing the sugar and the eggs. No. Next, add some milk, flour, oil and powder. No. So then mix, all the ingredients and pour the mixture into the cups. Look at this sentence. Mix all the ingredients, and so after that, what should we do? Pour the mixture into the cups. What was pouring? So it means transferring a batter or something from one cup to the other. So we can see this process step here in the option B. Okay, it is pouring the cake batter into the cups. And the last warning, okay, you may not be a kitchen person, guys, but there are some recipes in the unit which you definitely need to have a clue. For example, what is cake? You should know. Or making pizza, you should know. Fajita, sushi, these are the different traditional foods of different countries. Or watermelon pico de gallo, I don't know what it is actually, it's Spanish. And the Chequan noodles with spicy beef sauce. So guys, are you terrified? Now go and help your mother in the kitchen. It will be useful for your success. Yeah, guys, we have ended up with Unit 3. Now we are going to move on with Unit 4. On the phone. So is it familiar to you? Nowadays you're all using mobile phones, and this is an old-fashioned type of telephone. Okay, I think it's not so much familiar with you. Well, let's move on. In this unit, you have learned before a short history of the communication, what purposes we use phone for, and how to make a proper phone call. Yes, there are some rules to make a phone call actually, and to talk about future possibilities. Let's move on. Okay, in the vocabulary point, as you can see, we have lots of vocabulary here. So we come up with the communication. Communication is sending messages from one person to the other person. And confirm means saying yes. Interaction. For example, if I am asking you a question and if you are answering to my question, that means there's an interaction between you and me. Generation are the upcoming young people after us, okay? New generation. For example, you are the new generation that will come after us. Radio waves. It is radio waves, guys, okay? So, percent, we're going to use some percentages of the internet users later. It means 100%, okay? Get well soon. Think that one of your friends is ill. You call him and you say, oh, I'm so sorry, get well soon. It means that I hope you get better soon. Frequency, it is how often do you do an activity, it's asking for, okay? The frequency of an activity means how often do you do that activity. And explaining, just making the other people understand your reason. Pick up. Pick up is taking one of your friends with your car and going somewhere else. Okay, you can ask your friends, let's go to the cinema. Okay, I'm gonna pick you up with my car at 8. Get ready. Detail is detail like the one in Turkish. And smoke signals. Yeah, smoke signals and an old fashion of communication. Mostly the Indian people, maybe, that use the smoke signals to communicate with the other villages, for example. Nowadays, we don't, of course, don't use it. And cell phone, in other words, mobile phones. And educative. So you are playing a lot of games. Some of the games are educative games. That means, for example, Scrabble is a kind of educative game because you are learning something while you are playing. Each other, the one to the other person. Leave a message. Okay, you are just sending a message. Okay, the other person is taking your note. And unavailable or busy. That means that I'm sorry, I cannot talk to you on the phone. Unavailable means that you are so busy, okay? And keep in touch, in other words, to communicate. For example, we can ask a question like this. How do you communicate with your friends? I send text messages. Or, how often do you keep in touch with your friends? I text messages, okay? So you can use keep in touch and communicate interchangeably. Rank is the order of a list, okay? So there are some ranks in the internet. So if you are using a popular website, you can check its rank in the internet lists. Or raise awareness. For example, nowadays, all the people are aware of how important the hygiene is. So this virus, I think, so raise an awareness among all the people around the world. And typically is a kind of typical, okay, a standard and normal way of something. Yeah, guys, we have got some useful expressions here. So, for example, I can't hear you. You're talking on the phone and there's a bad line. So you can just say, I can't hear you. I'm sorry, there's a problem, okay, with the line. So you just say, I can't hear you. Or you want the other person to repeat the words. Can you repeat that, please? I can't hear you. It's a bad line, I think. So, would you like to leave a message? Okay. If you call someone and the person that you want to talk to is not at home or at office, so you can just leave a message. Okay. Would you like to leave a message? Can you help, please? Tell him or her that I called. Okay, you called one of your friends again, and he or she is not at home or at office. So you are just leaving a message like this. Can you tell him that I called her? Hang on, hold on. These both forms means wait. Okay, hang on a minute, hold on a minute. I'll get him. That means I'm gonna give the phone to the person you have called. And can you put me through? That means you're combining two lines. For example, you're calling a company and you want to talk to the boss. There should be a secretary picks up the phone. So she must probably answer like this. Okay, I'm going to put you through. That means I will transfer your line to the boss line. Sorry, he's not available. That means busy. And this phone is out of order. Out of order means it doesn't work. It's broken down, okay? It doesn't work. And can I take your message? Okay, if you pick up the phone and the person who is called is not at home, you can just tell the other person who's calling, can I take your message if you have? So I phone someone again. I have to introduce myself first. Okay, I'm calling and hello, this is Eda speaking, for example. The next question should be like, is Ali there? Okay, so that means may I speak to Ali in other words, okay? Is Ali there or may I speak to Ali? So these were the useful expressions and be careful guys. Okay, as it is about communication, it is very likely to see dialogue questions in the exam. Okay, we will come up with dialogue questions in the exam. So this is a beautiful example of correcting, okay, ordering the sentence. So which is the correct order of the dialogue? So we have to order the sentences. So every dialogue starts with greeting, mind this. So we are looking for the words hello or hi. We have got two. But as I said before, you should introduce yourself first, okay? And among these sentences, I'm looking for, yeah, hi, this is Beth. May I speak to Mike, please? I introduce myself and just told that I want to talk to Mike here. So, hi, this is Beth. May I speak to Mike, please? Hello, Beth. It's me, Mike. So, Mike, we are throwing a birthday party at 9 tonight. Would you like to join us? The next one. And the final sentence, that sounds awesome. I'll be there. So, the answer is A. And again, greeting must come first. Okay? Okay, let's move on with another example here. Which one is not one of the sentences to complete the dialogue? So, we are looking for a sentence which cannot fill in the blanks in this dialogue. Right. Okay, hello Nora speaking. Hi Nora, this is Max, Gavin's friend. So, Max is asking for something or saying something here that Nora answered like this. I'm afraid he is not available. So, we are looking for a boy. Why? Because Nora is talking about he. So, we are looking at boy. So, let's fill in the first blank. What can I say? Yeah, he, a message? No. Can I speak to your mother? Mother is not a boy. She's a woman. And is your brother there? Yeah, okay, we found a boy here, brother. Is your brother there? Okay, we filled the first gap. And let's move on. He has gone out. Please, yes, please. So Max should say something that after his words, he should give a mobile phone number. So let's look at, yes please, would you like to leave a message? Yeah, Max wants to leave a message, yes please. Okay, so it's 454560, this is a mobile phone number. Call Mrs. Evans, please tell him to call Mrs. Evans. Right, so we filled all the gaps. So what is out? Option B, okay? So, can I speak to your mother? There's no sign of mother in this dialogue, so it cannot be the answer. And the final example. Hello, Mr. Eclair. My car is not working, and I don't know the problem. Hi, Mr. Callingham. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. So, and I have a meeting at 10 o'clock. Okay, tell me where you are, and. So choose the correct option that complete the dialogue. We are looking for that missing part. So let's look at the picture again. There's a problem about his car and he wants a kind of help. So he is asking, tell me where you are. So Mr. Eclair is searching for his location. Why are you looking for a location? Because I will send someone to take you and your car. So I have to know where you are to send you a person who will take your car and you. Right, guys? So we also have a problem here and needs to catch a meeting. That was the solution.